So we're on to day 3, something like that, of harvest. And I feel like I've got a confession to make. I feel like I have to absolve myself of some guilt, and not just because I'm doing bugger all on one foot and about as much use as, well, you can insert your own proverbial there. Well, look, last night we had to send the machines out. We had to pick vineyards by machine, and it feels like a confession. It feels like it's not the way that we were hoping to push forwards with our wines. Now, there are other places where there will be long discussions of the virtues of machine picking and the quality effects on the wines. But for some of our varieties, it's proven to be a very, very useful tactic. And I'm not going to say it's a complete compromise. We've certainly avoided doing it on our Moristel, which is a variety that we really believe is much better hand harvested. It's much better with the whole bunch processing in the cellar through the concrete tanks, the way that we want to get the fruit flavors, the concentration of that tannin structure from the stems. That to us is where that grape really needs to live to get the most out of it. And it's one of the non-negotiables of harvest, the hand harvested Moristel. But the other grapes we work with are much more robust and much more suited to commercial grape growing. That's why they're international varieties. That's why they're grown all over the place. And our pick windows this year are much smaller than in previous vintages. We don't quite have the luxury of sitting there and thinking, well, we've got 3-4 days for this, a week for that. And, time is tight, and we have to look at the quality versus style demographic diagram, whatever you want to call it, because we've got to look at where we're getting the most out of our grapes. And if we wait to hand harvest, part of the vineyards can't be hand harvested, and the quality is going to decrease through that process rather than capturing it here and now with the machine pick. So the potential risks of using the machine, the oxygenation, the breaking of the fruits, the potential glass ceiling of quality, I suppose, that many see with the machine harvesting is actually higher than we would get with hand harvesting and pushing forwards with a mantra of hand only. Now, the goal for us is to be exclusively hand harvested, because the goal is to have utopian harvests where everything can come in when we want it to come in and in the volume we want it to come in at. That is the aspiration, and that will always be the aspiration, but it is probably an unachievable aspiration. And sometimes you have to pull the ripcord, and that's the benefit of working the way that we do. So I don't have a set of rules that we come into harvest in apart from making the best wine possible. And we sometimes use tools to make sure that we're making the best wine possible. Now, in big, bulk commercial wineries, those tools are used without a second thought to make them as quickly and cheaply and on point as possible to suit price points and international markets. We're a long way from that, but we're not ashamed of using some of those tools to our advantage. And if we have to send the machines out, we send the best machines out we can, and we process the best fruit we can at the right time, and we lock those wines down. And for us this year, that has definitely been an advantage, being able to get those machines sent out and know that we're having 11 tons of Syrah coming in that evening in a specific time frame, in a specific window, before some potential rains come through, and we know what we're going to get, and we can work with those wines, and we know that we can uphold the standards of what we're making. And the goal is now to maximize those parcels, deal with the fruit that's come in, process it the way that it's designed to when it comes in as machine harvested, which is slightly more commercial, but still wild ferments and still very specific selection to make sure that we've got the right wines going to the right places. Still amazing wines, but you can tell by the nature of this video, I feel like I've let the side down by sending the machines out, and it's ridiculous, because that's not true at all. This is a decision-making process to get the best wines in the glass. And that is going to be the result. That is the reality of working in slightly unusual vintages where it was cold, it was wet to start off with, and then it got very, very hot. So the poor vines don't really know what they're doing, and the fruit is the first thing to suffer because the vine wants to survive. The vine wants to put energy into other parts of the plant. We're not gaining by leaving fruit out at the moment. We're not gaining by persevering with the hand harvest. So made our decisions, we've got fruit in, and we have processed an incredible volume of fruit in a very small time scale, and that is going to stand us in much better stead than sticking to a rigid ethos and a rigid plan. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, the truth is always in the glass, but I'm sure that you will see in the coming vintages that we made the right call, that the standards have not slipped. We are still making amazing wines, but sometimes we just have to take a different path.